The era of global boiling has arrived. A critical mass must last. The ball is in our court. Era of global boiling has arrived. UN chief says Earth in era of global boiling. Calls for radical action. UN chief Antonio Guterreas pleaded for immediate and radical action on climate change, saying that record-shattering July temperatures show Earth has passed from a warming phase to an era of global boiling. In search for a common enemy against whom we can unite, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. Club of Rome. The First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome. The First Global Revolution is a book written by Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider and published in 1991. The book follows up the earlier 1972 work product from the Club of Rome titled The Limits to Growth. The common enemy of humanity is man. In search for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. In their totality and in their interactions, these phenomena do constitute a common thread which demands the solidarity of all peoples. But in designation them as the enemy, we fall into the trap about which we have already warned, namely, mistaking symptoms for causes. All these dangers are caused by human interventions, and it is only through changed attitudes and behavior that they can be overcome. The real enemy, then, is humanity itself. Let's rejoice, because the absurd insanity we are experiencing is forcing more and more people to awaken. However, we must have compassion for those who are incapable of awakening, because the injections have created a separation from the individual soul. The only way out of the matrix is absolute non-compliance. The CBDCs will make it impossible to function in the system. I'm not interested in survival, which leads to inevitable death. I choose to live at all costs. I'm absolutely certain that the courageous ones must choose to get out of the matrix completely by November 2023. Please view the many videos I created on the time wave spirals. I was blessed because my jail experience forced me to leave Canada and what appeared to be a perfect life as a very successful dentist and mother of 2 wonderful children. One needs great courage to jump into the complete unknown, but it is an absolute necessity in this evolutionary crisis. Today, I'm in a position to assist individuals who choose life. Just 2 kilometers from our farm, I discovered a small development. One can purchase a lot of 1,000 meters square and a 3-bedroom house for $60,000 US at today's rate of exchange. While your home is under construction, you can start developing the agriculture of Sacha Inchi nut, avocados, pineapple, yucca, papaya, bananas, citrus fruit, and a vegetable garden. One can raise chickens and other small animals. A long-term stay at Cascata Cafe Retiro is $300 US per month. I also offer dentistry, including complex full mouth reconstruction at a cost of 35% of European and North American prices. The global prison planet is being dismantled, and we have the honor of witnessing this. I conclude by encouraging you to continue your inner evolution despite the current world scenario, which can seem worrying when we forget that the divine is behind everything and that the supramental world is at our doorstep. Please share my videos. Infinite love. Daily Mail. The Big Eco-Lie. Solar panels produce 5 times more carbon dioxide than previously thought, report claims. Research determined that if the nation grows in solar manufacturing, the world will see up to 18 billion tons more carbon emissions by 2040, all related to the PV industry. CO2 emissions, 2000 to 2035. This chart shows that the US and Europe are slightly decreasing their CO2 emissions from 2000 to 2035, while China and the rest of the world is hugely increasing their CO2 emissions. The feasibility of a net zero economy for the USA by 2050 by Michael Kelly. The scale of this project suggests that a war footing in a command economy will be essential, as major cuts to other favorite forms of expenditure such as health, education, and defense will be needed. A fourth project is to secure the buy-in of the public for what will be 30 years of social disruption, diminished living standards, and living under a command economy. Advanced Earth and Space Sciences. The Hunga Tonga-Hunga Ha'apai hydration of the stratosphere. The violent Hunga Tonga-Hunga Ha'apai eruption on 15th of January 2022 not only ejected ash into the stratosphere, but also large amounts of water vapor, breaking all records for direct injection of water vapor by a volcano or otherwise in the satellite era. The massive blast injected water vapor up to altitude as high as 53 kilometers. Using measurements from the microwave limb sounder on NASA's Aura satellite, we estimate that the excess water vapor is equivalent to around 10% of the amount of water vapor typically residing in the stratosphere. Unlike previous strong eruptions, this event may not cool the surface, but rather it could potentially warm the surface due to the excess water vapor. I picked up on this story because we live in the southern hemisphere. From January 2022, right after the Hunga Tonga eruption, up until July of 2023, we have experienced non-stop rain. This caused, at the very least, a 50% reduction in coffee production for 2 seasons, February to May of 2022 and February to May of 2023. On top of that, the superficial roots of the banana and plantain trees were attacked by a fungus, which caused a collapse of all the trees, eliminating all of the production. We also lost 1,500 plants of Sacha Inchi. This is the miraculous nut plant we tried to cultivate. We planted 1,500 new plants of a more resistant Sacha Inchi variety, and just about lost all of those plants as well. Fortunately, I finally realized that because the roots of these plants are very superficial, that is, they do not grow deeply like most plants, the fungus attacked the roots because too much continuous moisture in the soil. These weather extremes are causing huge disruptions in food production in the entire world. By 2024, it will be obvious to all that there is simply not enough food for 8 billion people on this planet while in the matrix system. The globalist parasites are pushing the fear porn that humans are creating too much CO2, when in reality, it is natural sun cycles that are causing climate change. Just look at the size of Earth compared to the sun. 0.04% of our atmosphere consists of CO2, 850 gigatons. 95.7% of that amount is produced by nature, 813.45 gigatons. 4.3% is produced by man, 36.6 gigatons. 0.0017% of our atmosphere of CO2 is produced by man. Here's a chart of 400 years of sunspot observations. We're actually entering the modern minimum, mini ice age, and not human-created global boiling. This chart shows global temperatures from 2500 BC to 2015 AD. All empires grow during the warm cycles. Now we are at the end of the US-British Empire. This is a chart of the estimated global temperatures over the last 500 million years. The sun has nothing to do with climate change. I think someone is ignoring the elephant in the room, or the elephant in the sun. Sri Aurobindo and Mother enabled me to accept that Homo sapiens is a transitory species, and that the divine in me, the soul, and in all things, spirit, is currently manifesting the ideal conditions on earth for the creation of a new, divine, material being. Wow! The incarnation on earth at this crucial moment becomes a fantastic chance to participate in this unprecedented elaboration. I apply myself to it 100%, not by meditating in a cave, developing my occult powers, ceasing citizenship, or feeding on prana, but by surrendering myself totally to my soul. This is the first of the 3 transformations and the most difficult, because my dearly constructed ego fights like a lion to keep its place as the conductor of my body. The fact is, humanity is in a monumental dead end. This is an evolutionary crisis. It is the end of the human species, the end of the intelligent animal. Each individual must make the choice to stop participating in nurturing this horrible illusion. which we believe to be our reality. It is time to dream about the next step, the new eidesic species. Let us remember that the divine is all powerful. Our inner work in faith, joy, courage, and love will allow a critical mass to last. The ball is in our court. Infinite love.